Let me ask you something. I don't know if this is only happening to me when I open Instagram or TikTok, but I keep getting recommended the same kinds of books over and over again. If it isn't the latest fantasy or the most hyped romantasy or a sci-fi books that's doing the rounds, it's a few books in your favorite genre that you can't help but see everywhere. Everyone's posting about them, everyone's talking about them, and pretty soon you're reading them too. I mean, come on, you can't help but give in to the hype. It's inevitable. But all of this got me thinking, am I actually reading for me, or am I just reading for an algorithm? If you use social media for book recommendations or have ever been influenced to read a book because you saw it on social media, then your reading taste might not be as unique as you'd like to think. Now, don't come for me because same. If I scroll back through the books I've read over the past few years and really think about it, 90% of the books I read were because I was influenced to read them by social media. I chose the books, sure, but I didn't pick them out of a bookstore on a whim. I didn't browse the library and take a chance. I read those books because people on social media said I needed to. And you might be thinking, so big whoop, you get your recommendations from social media. What's the big deal? Well, I'm not trying new genres, I'm not reading books unless they're hyped in some way, and I'm not forming my own opinions. I'm not discovering anything new, I'm just reading similar stuff all the time because it's safe and easy. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with reading safe and easy books. There's also nothing wrong with getting recommendations from social media. But if that's all you're doing, if that's the sole way you're finding new books, after this video, you might want to think again. When I was younger, I'd step into a bookstore and browse the shelves for hours, picking something that looked interesting and taking it home. Or I'd borrow a book from my parents and give that a read. I was definitely older than this, but this is the only picture I have right now, so enjoy. My point is, I wasn't picking and choosing based on a recommendation. Social media didn't exist. Instead, I was just giving stuff a chance. When I did this, I discovered I liked a particular type of book I don't think I would have ever discovered without this random nature of book picking. I discovered that I loved Gothic fiction after reading The Picture of Dorian Gray. Imagine if I were young right now. I wouldn't give that a go. There's absolutely no way. I'd instead be reading a romantasy or 5. And again, there's nothing wrong with romantasy, I enjoy it, but I wouldn't be branching out or giving other things a chance. I'd just allow myself to be led and read what I was told to read, which is essentially what I'm doing right now. We have a tendency to have a reader identity online, especially if you post on social media. You might call yourself a fantasy reader, or a dark academia girly, or a mythology lover, speaking from experience. These identities mean we will read, share, and post about a specific type of book above all others. It means you're almost stuck reading one genre of book in order to create or post content about it. I did this too. For a long time, I would post mostly about mythology books on Instagram, and while I enjoyed doing it, I did feel kind of trapped. I wanted to read mythology books because they were my favorite genre, but I didn't want to only read mythology. That's crazy. But to create enough content, you feel like you have to. You don't have time to read anything else. I dumped my mythology reader identity a while back, and I felt much more freedom to read just whatever I want now. Our reading tastes change all the time. It's normal. But when you only allow yourself to create content on one specific type of book, you also create an echo chamber of content, and that's where the algorithm comes in. Algorithms have one goal: to make you stay on an app longer by delivering content you'll find relevant and interesting. The way this happens is forever changing, but let's just say that if you, as a person, like, comment, save, or share something you like, the algorithm will show you more of that thing. So if you, as a reader, do those actions on specific types of bookish content, you'll see more of it. You'll see more people talking about romantasy books, more hauls with the same types of books in them, more content that features the same hashtags, words in the description, or any other clues the social media platform will use to group similar content together and serve it to you on a platter. And I've not even talked about the bias that's built into social media algorithms. Social media algorithms personalize your content feed and present you with information that reinforces your existing beliefs. This creates echo chambers where users are isolated from diverse viewpoints. Depending on the data used to train these algorithms, it can exacerbate the issue. This goes further when the publishing industry as a whole still has a problem with the lack of diversity in its published authors. It's not hard to see that if only 25% of authors in big publishing companies are authors of color, then when it comes to seeing these books within your algorithm, they have less of a chance. Check out this quote from the same article the table was from. Publishers have long assumed that white women are their primary market. They have seldom carried out the kinds of market research, for example, that would improve the ability to discover books for readers of different backgrounds. If you're mostly seeing books by white authors, and let's be honest, if you're a white woman like me, it's probably true, then to actually get some diverse recommendations, you have to actively seek out diverse voices on social media to get a better balance. A lot of people aren't going to be that conscious online. They're just not going to go out of their way to make an effort to diversify their algorithm on purpose because they won't even realize it's happening in the first place. It's up to us to make the conscious choice, sure, but it's also up to publishers to amplify diverse voices and social media platforms to take a hard look at their algorithms and make some better choices. The other reason why you see the same things all the time is because bookish creators or people who review books will post about popular books because, well, they're popular. These types of posts will get more comments than others because viewers will recognize the book, may have even read the book, and will have something to say. It's just the nature of the book world. You know a book, you can talk about a book. This is heightened even more if a creator has an advanced reader's copy of a book, which is essentially a copy of a book that hasn't been released yet. They get it early to talk about it and review it and to generate some hype. This creates marketing that doesn't actually feel like marketing. It feels authentic because it's coming from people you trust the reading tastes of, which makes it even more effective. But especially when it comes to advanced readers' copies, it's still a form of marketing. There's a reason why you are meant to put in some variation ad/PR on your review or post, because it's basically an ad, no matter if you enjoyed the book or not. Publisher marketing plays a huge role in this. If a book has a large marketing budget, they'll also be able to send out advanced readers' copies of a book to reviewers who have Instagram pages to hype up the book before release. If a book has this, you'll see more of it. Think about any Fourth Ring series book. The hype and marketing budget for that release is huge. The publishers knew it was going to be a hit, so they pumped up the marketing budget to guarantee it. A book without such a large marketing budget won't have as much reach and relies on the author to do a lot of the marketing heavy lifting. You'll notice that some books still manage to sell well, not because a lot of people got advanced readers' copies or because there's ads, but because the author already has a platform or is on it when it comes to marketing. So we're not just influenced by algorithms when it comes to the books we read, but a publisher's marketing budget too. Doesn't that feel a little weird, like inside of you? It's almost like you're being spoon-fed books rather than reading and discovering them yourself. It feels like a passive experience. I don't know. I think a little of this is fine, but to me it feels like I'm not reading for myself anymore. I'm not picking books that I might like, I'm picking ones based on what the algorithm thinks I would like. As you're getting them, it feels like these recommendations are genuine because it's not like the algorithm is saying, here's a book, like I asked ChatGPT or something. Instead, I'm seeing an actual person telling me I might like it in a reel or a post. But in reality, the algorithm showed that content to me. It decided that I would like it and watch it based on what I've liked and watched before. That's not me necessarily discovering new books, that's just me seeing more of the same thing. Hi, Future Gina here, coming to you from my desk. I wanted to add a few extra points. I don't want you good people watching this to think that I hate getting recommendations from social media based on the contents of this video. I'd be a hypocrite if I said something like that because I am a member of Bookstagram, which is the book community on Instagram, and not only have I in the past and still sometimes do write reviews on books and give recommendations on that platform, but I also interact with other people's posts doing that too. It's honestly what I've always loved about being part of that community. The idea that people write and share reviews and recommendations is the reason why I joined Bookstagram in the first place. Getting recommendations from social media is fantastic. I've got some of my favorite recommendations from that platform alone, and I've met some amazing people too. But there is a valuable part of our reading lives that's missing if we only get our recommendations from social media. We are missing that exploration and the variety that we might find if we used other ways as well as social media to find book recommendations. Okay, Back to past Gina. My future book choices are hopefully going to be a little more thought through. I'll get some recommendations from social media, sure, but it's time to tap into more. Time to do some research, browse a bookstore or the library, and maybe start taking chances again. But you tell me, do you think your reading is based on an algorithm? Get all your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time for another video.